right, and now we are really, really excited to be joined on this, our Blue Jackets kickoff extravaganza show. We're kicking it off with an incredible special guest. If you've paid attention to playoff runs, you heard his story back when the Blue Jackets played the Bruins about how he was from Columbus about 1,000 times on TV during that. And he is back in his hometown, kid that grew up in Dublin. And now he is playing for the Blue Jackets as he signed in Columbus this offseason. We are very excited to be joined by Sean Kuraly. Sean, thank you for jumping on with us on the Garage Beers podcast.
Thanks for having me, Mike. Appreciate it. It's good to be here.
Yeah, so I guess we start with an obvious question. How you feeling? Because I've seen over and over and over again a video of you taking a nice little spear in the preseason. You feeling all right?
Yes, I am. I'm totally fine. Yeah, no, it was a bit of a high. It got a little high in my face, but no, I'm fine. It just kind of scares you when you get a stick in the face. You're not sure if you're cut or anything, but luckily all is well. Thank you.
I love just
you're
being
checking every part of your face, cheeks, teeth, nose.
I love just being a normal. I love just being a normal guy. Like I'm like, if that happened to me, I'd still be on the ice. Days later, I'll just be laying there.
Right.
Or you would have got back up and hit the guy with your stick and been also fined. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the other thought that goes through your mind.
How do you
like
not
true
do
hockey
that?
fashion, like you don't miss a shift.
Yeah. Well, I actually sat in the box forever because it was a match penalty, and so you come out at a whistle, and I was sitting there for a long time. But anyway, no, it's all good. It's I'm glad the preseason games are behind us, and we're gonna have regular season real action here shortly.
Does that go through your head? Listen, because you guys are all competitors, right? So preseason, you can say it all you want, but once you lace the skates up and you're out there on the ice, you're out there to play. So does it go through your head like, listen, let's not do anything dumb. It's the preseason. Let's not do anything before the season starts.
You are right though, in the fact that there's not a lot of we're all competitors, and you get out there and it's you say it's preseason, but there's a lot of stuff. 99% of you doing the same exact way. I mean, at least I'm trying to do the exact same stuff I would in the regular season, and I think most of the guys are too. So they're called preseason games, but we're all trying to get ready. Everyone wants to be ready when that puck drops for the first time for real. You don't want to be caught sleeping.
And we're going to get into that in a second, man. But first I want to take it. Just how was your off season, man? What did you do? Did you do anything fun? Like I saw your big, anything big happen. But I saw doing some research, I saw you're maybe a little bit of a golfer. How's the golf game this off season?
Yeah, I played some golf. I'm at the age where all my friends are getting married, so I've got I had a bunch of weddings, a bunch of bachelor parties. So it was just kind of like some fun little get-togethers, a lot of stuff, a lot of get-togethers with some old college teammates, which was fun. And I played a decent amount of golf, I should say. It was I probably, for as much as I play, I should be a better golfer, but I have fun with it. We have a good time. There's a good group, and all my friends, college teammates, and played a lot of golf with Jack Roslovic this summer, which was fun. So it's fun to get out there and play with your teammates.
I wonder I grew up a baseball player, and it's very hard to transition from that to golf because the swing, you can't get away from the baseball swing, and it's awful on the golf course. How about the hockey swing? How does that transition over into the golf game?
So I'm a lefty in hockey and a righty in golf. So for me, it's completely opposite. I'm swinging opposite ways, and I can't play all the time because sometimes it irritates my back a little bit, or something feels a little off. But I've tried to. It's been my excuse to swing easier and just try and not kill the ball. So swinging easy it's actually helped my game a little bit too. But it's the excuse to help keep my back a little bit more in line.
I'm just trying to picture this conversations with the girlfriend, like, oh, honey, I got to go to another bachelor party. All right. This time we're going to I don't know if it's Texas or Hawaii, or I don't know, but it's, I just got to do it.
Yeah. No, nobody. Yeah. There's, it was like every weekend too. So it was, yeah, it was a lot, but it was a good time. We all enjoyed it.
Hey, listen, man, enjoy those years while they last, because then you turn into old dudes like me and Chad, and you get a wedding invite and you're like, Jesus, I got to go to a wedding. What am I going to do with these kids? Son of a bitch. So enjoy them while they're still fun and exciting.
Yeah.
Listen, you talked about playing golf with Jack Roslovic a little bit in the offseason. Did you know Jack coming in? Obviously, you guys' story about both being Columbus guys and now both of you playing for the hometown team. Did you guys know each other coming in? Did you know each other before your careers when you were coming up playing hockey? And you know, how has that bond been as you guys have both joined the Blue Jackets?
Right. So I played with Jack. The first time I really like got to know Jack was I played with him at Miami for a year. I was a senior and he was a freshman. So that was kind of like our first kind of real like teammate and really getting to know each other. He was Jack's a few years younger than me. He's in 96, I'm a 93. I think he's in that. Yeah. Anyway, so like 3 or 4 years younger. So I mean, we're growing up, but never played on the same team or anything growing up here in Columbus. And he went and played for the development program. But I always kind of knew of him and knew he was a good player, but never really got to know him, I think, until we played at Miami in 2015, 16. So it's been a while still. We've been friends for a few years through this whole thing. So it's been fun to be back on his team. And you know, that was a big part of me wanting to be in Columbus too, is have a guy like that I know and a guy like that I think is a hell of a player and hasn't reached his potential yet and can be even better than he's been. And I think you know, those are the kind of guys you want to be around, be on your team.
Yeah. So I mean, you were in that Blue Jackets development program. I mean, you were in the youth hockey teams in Columbus growing up, man. You know, and so I guess, you know, my next question for you is just a two-parter. You know, I talked about what you did in the offseason a little bit. You know, going into this offseason, was Columbus an option? Were you surprised at the call with Jarmo? What was that process like? And my second part of that question is, I know you said you've always wanted to play in Columbus. Has there been a moment yet where you put on that Jackets jersey and you looked in the mirror and went, it's fucking crazy?
Yeah. Well, the first part is, yes, I always did want to play here. I didn't know when or how or when it was going to work out. So much of this free agency is, you know, it's all about timing and what a team needs and what they have space for with the cap, the salary cap, and what players they have coming up. If they've got someone like you, and it's just, there's so many intangibles that, yeah, it would have been, I was always loving and hoping to come back home and play for the Jackets, but I wasn't sure if it was going to work out. You just never know. So, and I didn't know until, you know, basically till I got pen to paper that it was going to be for real, but I knew it was a team that was possibly going to have interest and that I was going to give the first like look to for sure. So I was excited about that. And you just, like I said, you never know if it's for sure going to happen. So once you sign the papers, you feel pretty good about it. So that was awesome. I'm excited to be back. And, you know, I've been wearing, I played for Boston for the last 4 or 5 years. So I've been wearing different colors. I see the first thing is like, you just kind of look around, you're like, yeah, I'm the team in blue now. I'm wearing a certain color for so many years. I looked out there and like, oh, and you kind of look down at your own jersey and you're like, okay, I've been wearing blue. So that was the first kind of thing where I was like, oh, that's a little bit different. But yeah, you put on that jersey, and I put on that jersey when I was young playing AAA a lot. So it's kind of, you know, there's parts of it, and even Jack was saying to me today, isn't it crazy? We're practicing at the Ice House, which is the practice rink attached, and we grew up practicing there. We're in an NHL practice at the same rink that we were at growing up. So it's kind of come around, which is awesome. And part of it, you know, makes you feel at home and a little bit more comfortable, which I think is fun, and hopefully, you know, can help and make you feel like you're at home and in familiar surroundings.
You know, part of the reason I feel so lucky to do our show and so lucky to have guests like you on is because when you just talk about sports, read about sports, listen about sports, whatever, teams and athletes are all just presented as like a business, and that's fine because it's a big business. But like to hear you talk about you and Jack just at the place where you grew up practicing, just knowing that you guys just still have those moments. It isn't all about the contract. It isn't all about the, all the news and the stuff. It's like you still have that moment of like, holy shit, this is awesome. We are playing where we used to practice. Like that.
Right.
That's super cool that you guys still have that conversation.
Now,
go ahead, Chad.
Oh, I was going to say now, okay, so now going into it, did Lars or Yarmo sit down with you right away, talk to you about your role, or is it still something guys are just trying to figure out, or is it? I mean, I know you have one here in this preseason. I know where you were playing in the preseason, but initially, did they give you an idea of what they were looking for?
Yeah, I think definitely Lars has been really good at communicating what he wants from us and how he wants us to play, kind of a team identity and stuff. But I think kind of what most coaches would say is you kind of dictate where you're going to play and how you perform and stuff. But I know my strengths at this point. I know what they're, how they're, they want me to play to my strengths, of course, and play to your strengths. And, so much of the lineup and where you play in the lineup kind of depends on other people and other things and whatever. So I think it's more about just playing to my strengths, seeing what, on every certain night, what I can do to help the team win. I think that's kind of my role. And I think where I do best is just focusing on those simple, small things, help the team win and letting the rest take care of itself.
So you come from an organization, you played for Boston pretty much your entire professional career. You came up with them, you've played with them your entire career in the NHL. That's an organization that is, they're one of those organizations that it's at the start of the season, it's Stanley Cup. You envision the Stanley Cup getting hoisted in Boston, and that's what you're playing for. And it's like that single vision. Here in Columbus, you grew up a Blue Jackets guy. Here in Columbus, there's been more recent success, as you know, especially from like you growing up as a kid and what you were used to. But there's been more recent success. But obviously, it's still a team trying to find its way so that it can turn into one of those franchises that you're able to have those expectations. What's it like going from a team like the Bruins, and like, what do you bring from your time at the Bruins to Columbus to kind of help mold that transformation of a franchise?
Well, first of all, I'd say that I've seen the direction of this franchise the past few years, and I watched closely. I've been watching this team play since day one, really, and I've always been watching. I've always been following closely, and over the past few years, I think you can see a difference in this team and the product on the ice and what it's been. And I've played against them. We played against them in that playoff series, and that's something that I think matters as an opposing player. You play against a team, and you're like, this team is for real, and we've obviously, the team has moved on from some of those pieces, but there's some of those pieces are still here, and the trend of this organization, I think, is headed in the right direction. That was a big piece of wanting to be here and believing in what could be in Columbus. I think was a huge part of it. If I didn't think we could be at the top of the NHL at some point, I don't think I would have considered it. But you come from Boston, and I was super lucky to play with, I don't know how many, but a few Hall of Fame players for sure. And you're in the locker room with them every day, and you just try and take little pieces. I'm not any of those guys. I'm different, and I'm not going to try and be any of those guys. They're the Bergerons, the Charas, or Krejci and Marchand, and I mean the list goes on. I'm leaving some out of that.
Right.
But you don't want to. You really just kind of be yourself. You pick up a few pieces along the way. Those guys were obviously world class and great talents, and I think you take, like I said, take little pieces, make it your own, and just keep moving forward. Those, the one thing I took from there was just how good practices were every day. It was never a day to take practice off, and those guys, practices were always like high intensity, high pace, high compete, and I think it's been the same way since I've been here in Columbus. So it's been fun to see.
Okay, off topic just a little bit. how weird is it to see Z in a different jersey? Is it just weird just when you see him on a different team now? Does it just seem like this isn't real?
Yeah, it was weird. Washington, yeah, it was weird last year.
Awful.
Yeah, I know. He's back, I guess. He's back with the Islanders, but you love to see the big Z on your side, and always such a great leader, such a great person, and still a great player, which is remarkable.
Anybody but
now
Washington.
We're getting back.
Anybody but Washington. Good grief.
Now back into training camp. You just mentioned that it's kind of been a little bit the same here from Boston into Columbus. What has this first camp with Lars been like? Has there been anything different? And also, there is a lot of new faces around. How has the chemistry been building with the new pieces surrounding so far, in your eyes?
Well, it's definitely been different. To answer your first piece, we're young. Like, we've got young. Like, as a whole, I think the age is just a lot younger than it would have been to what I'm used to. And with younger guys, I think practices can be a little bit longer. Practices can be, there's a lot of skating. There's not as much of, veterans that are, you're trying to just, you can trust, they're going to be ready for game one. They've been through it 15, 20 times.
Right.
It's been a little bit different. So it's been nice. It's been re-energizing, I think, for me to kind of see something new and get some fresh blood and some of these fresh faces. I think it's been fun. Some of these kids are super talented. It's just really fun to be out there with them. And
you sound like an old guy.
Yeah,
some of these kids out here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know. I guess, and I'm 28, and I asked one of the days on the ice, I was with Cylinder. I wasn't familiar with everyone in the organization. I asked him how old he was, and he said 18. I'm like, okay, I'm 10 years older than you. So now I am an older guy.
Did you graduate high school? Like, what is that?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Did you graduate high school?
In the meantime, he's over there who's this older guy talking to me?
Yeah, God, this guy's old. Yeah.
You a coach?
Oh man.
Are you what they call a boomer? Are you what they call a boomer?
No, but that's got to be kind of fun for you though, right? To be, because you do listen. You named off the names in Boston and the guys that have just been there forever, and the crazy amount of veterans. With the Jackets, you've got guys that have been around for a while. You do have veterans on the team, but you certainly are coming in as a bit of a veteran presence for the team. What's that role? That's got to be a totally different role for you, coming into the Jackets. What's that been like? Yeah,
there's definitely differences. And I think as a player, and you're always looking to grow and take on more responsibility and play to your potential. And if there's you kind of look around the room and you just we're excited about obviously some of those pieces. There's some good veterans in that room, and you just try and be yourself and don't try and change too much, and add where you can, and just kind of make the reads as you go. But yeah, it's fun. The new roles and new spot in a locker room are always fun things to get used to and exciting, and something that I think can anything you're doing for the first time is exciting.
All right, so we got to ask you the pandering to the fans question, because that's the fun question. You're coming back. You're coming to the fifth line, and the Jackets. They've developed just an incredible fan base in Columbus, a passionate fan base. So, and you were part of it. So, what's it going to be like for you to step out there opening night, going out in front of the fifth line in Nationwide Arena? Have you started thinking what those feelings are going to be like for you?
Yeah, I've thought about it a few times. Just really exciting. I've said I was legitimately the kid sitting there watching opening night and in awe, and these guys were my heroes. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun. I'm super excited about it. I can't wait to see. I've said it a few times, but this is the city I want to play for. These are the fans I want to play for. This is the place I want to be. So, you kind of look around, you take it in on night one, and then you realize you know, for everyone's sake, the best thing I can do is focus on my job, and that's what I'm looking forward to, is going to do my job and play hockey, and that's what I love to do. So, you know, I'm gonna enjoy it for a split second, take a quick mental photograph, and then I'm gonna be ready to play.
How many are there still Kuralys in Columbus? Is the Kuraly family still there?
Yes, everyone's still here. Yeah. So no, there will be a few. All my brothers are really excited to have me back. They'll both be there, and mom and dad will be there, and yeah, a ton of family and friends. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be it'll be a big night. I'm excited. I'm excited to get going.
Well, listen, man, we appreciate the time that you have spent with us here today on our Blue Jackets kickoff, or I guess I should say puck drop episode, kickoff in football mode. But Sean Kuraly, if you're listening to this episode the day it drops, he is playing for the Blue Jackets tonight. It's opening night. Coyotes, Blue Jackets. It's NHL hockey time. So we are super excited to watch. We're super excited to watch what you do with the Blue Jackets. We're so excited to have you back with the organization that you grew up with. And we really appreciate your time. Best of luck this year. And again, thank you so much for your time.
Anytime, guys. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Chad.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks,
All right, Sean. Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
See you guys anytime.
Good luck, man.